Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about some of the new Age Perfect products from L'Oreal. I have in specific the foundation, the concealer, one of the lipsticks, and I also have the blush. Now I'm not going to be applying this blush to my cheeks in this video, although I realize that would probably make sense to do. However, I do want to get up a review on the Natasha Denona Love Glow Cheek Palette, and I really don't have an awful lot of time to film, so we're going to be kind of doing a bit of a mishmash. I will be filming different segments and then editing them into different videos. However, I can say that I really do like this blush. I have worn it quite a few times. I'll show you swatches as we get into the video, but that is the plan with that. All right then, with that out of the way, let's dive into it with the foundation. This is the Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation, and it says with concentrated serum and antioxidants. I picked up the shade 20 Golden Ivory. On the back it says flawless coverage that evens tones and smooths without settling into lines. Over time, more hydrated, radiant skin. I also brought it up on the L'Oreal Canada website just to take a look to see if there was additional information there, and I'm just looking at my laptop. It says hydrating serum and vitamin B3 for all-day hydration. It evens the skin tone and it has a lightweight formula. It says that it has a natural radiant finish, medium buildable coverage, that it's good for sensitive and mature skin types, and that it comes in 21 shades. It also states that it is non-comedogenic, I believe that's how you say it, dermatologically tested and suitable for sensitive skin. And then it says L'Oreal has been committed to a world without animal testing for over 30 years, which maybe it's just the lawyer in me, but that does not say no animal testing. It just says that they're committed to a world without animal testing. I'm committed to a world with like ice cream for breakfast. That doesn't mean that's what I do. I don't know, maybe they are cruelty-free. They don't have the little bunny, and there's nothing on the packaging that says cruelty-free. I'm not well versed enough to know if L'Oreal is, but I have no doubt that somebody watching this is, so please put it down in the comments that we can all know. I find it concerning, I guess, when brands like say things in a really wordy way that could very simply just be cruelty-free. I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but anyways, let's move on from there and actually apply this. I do have a primer on already. I have the Dior Backstage Primer. Every time I test foundations, I say the same thing. I use this primer simply because it doesn't really do anything different to my skin. It acts more like a moisturizer. It does help to do a little tiny bit of blurring, but nothing like a pore filling primer would. Doesn't mattify, it doesn't add a bunch of radiance. It really does feel like skincare on my skin, so that's why I like to use it, so that it's not affecting the finish of the foundation or how blurring or whatever it might be. All right, let's go in with this one. Now I have worn this a few times and the shade is a little bit deep for me. When you go to the drugstore, you kind of run the risk that you're not going to be able to use testers, and that's exactly what happened. So I kind of had to hold it up to my skin and hope for the best. It's a little bit deep for me, but nothing, hopefully nothing too distracting. All right, so there we have it, just on half of my skin. There's really not much of a difference, to be honest. And having said all of that about the shade match, I don't actually think it's all that bad, especially if I blend it really well down here. I don't think it's like a really jarring contrast, so perhaps I was a little misleading with what I said. I apologize. Okay, with the finish, I would agree that radiant is a true statement. Like, I don't feel that this is super dewy. It's certainly not mattifying, but you can see that there is a little bit of light reflecting off of my skin with it. This is the kind of finish that I really do enjoy. And you can see in terms of coverage, like, it's not a stark contrast. Like, this side isn't like mask-like. There is still some coverage, and when I look up close, I have some freckles and like little marks and things like that. They're still peeking through, but I can see that they're a little bit muted compared to the ones that I have on this side. So I think this idea that it's medium coverage, I think that's correct. And I think the fact that they say buildable medium, I'm gonna take that to mean buildable to medium. I'm sure if I layer it on, I could make the coverage that much stronger, but then you're gonna run into other problems. But it's certainly not, it's not a full coverage foundation. I would say that. The freckles on my nose are not really dark, and yet I can still see them peeking through the foundation on the side that I have it on. I'm gonna go ahead and even it up, put the foundation on the other side, and then we'll move into the concealer. Before we do that, there's no fragrance in this. I can't smell anything at any rate, so that's kind of nice, because sometimes L'Oreal products, they don't smell the best. All right, there we go. Now it is all over my face. Before we jump into concealer, I just wanted to talk really quickly about the packaging. It is a very functional, nice squeeze tube with a very precise little spout. I don't know the word for that, whatever this is. And I really like this kind of packaging. I mean, as much as I enjoy a pump as well, I just find that you have even that much more control with this kind of packaging. You can really tell how much is going to come out. You can get everything out of it. I just really appreciate this kind of packaging. So I just wanted to show that to you guys as well. All right, now we can move into the concealer. So we have the Age Perfect Radiant Concealer here. There's no other information on this packaging. So again, I'm going to look at my laptop. And it says it's a hydrating serum for illuminated and hydrated skin. It hides and blurs imperfections, dark circles, and spots, and it has radiant coverage. Additionally, the website says that it has a natural radiant finish, medium buildable coverage. It's for mature and sensitive skin, and it comes in 12 shades. So the shade range for both the foundation and the concealer, not fantastic. Especially when you have Milani coming along with, I think they have 45 shades in their newest foundation. So L'Oreal can sort of stand to up their game a little bit here. 12 shades of concealer, I think it was 21 shades of foundation. There is room for at least another 10 shades in there just to fill in that spectrum a bit more. Let's go ahead and apply this. So it just comes with your standard paddle doe foot applicator here. I just wiped off the excess just so I don't get a ton. Oh, well, should have just done 1/2, huh? Sorry. And there is the concealer all blended out as well. Now, I don't mind the concealer. I like how easy it is to blend out. I do like the finish of it, that it's not super matte underneath my eyes, but it's also not glowy. I prefer more coverage. So I knew that going into it because it says that it's medium coverage. So I can't be shocked or surprised. I would prefer more coverage. So when I use this kind of product, what I will likely end up doing, because I'm not going to return it because I like the product, I will use a peach color corrector underneath just to add a little bit more coverage for the dark circles that I have. But I do like the way that it applies, and I do like the way that it blends out. Now, the key to both of these products is that they are not meant to settle into fine lines. So I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. I'm going to show you the swatch of the blush. I'm going to apply the lipstick so you can see both of those in action, and then we'll check in. So I'm not going to put any powder on or do any setting of any sort. We're just going to let it chill for a few minutes and just see what the product does. So let's go into the blush. So I picked up the shade Rosewood. I think there were maybe 4 or 5 to choose from. I think at least 4, but I think there might have been about 5. At any rate, on the back it just says that it is instant luminous color. It's a silky smooth powder and it enhances the look of cheeks. It is a radiant satin blush. So in terms of being age perfect, I'm guessing, and I haven't been able to determine why this is considered age perfect, but I'm guessing because it's not super glowy with a bunch of like glitter in it, but it's also not super matte, which may end up making skin look drier or age it in some way. The radiant satin finish, I'm guessing, is what makes it age perfect. So at any rate, there is the color, what did I say? Rosewood. And the packaging has like a little mirror on the back. And then there's no brush or anything like that. That's just the sticker, which I kind of like because I just end up throwing those kind of things out anyways. I am just going to do a finger swatch, like I said. So there it is on my middle finger here. It is quite light, but it does show up when I apply it with a brush on my cheeks. I can't tell in the viewfinder if you guys can see it though. Why don't we go ahead and do this? We'll pick it up with a brush. It doesn't produce like a ton of kick up in the pan or anything like that. And then I'll just swirl it in here. The lights tend to wash things out a little bit there. So again, like it does have a satin finish for sure. I can see a little bit of the like glint of light catching it, but it's nothing that I would consider to be like metallic or certainly not chunky. Like there are no metallic glitter bits in there at all. It really just comes down to the finish of the powder, and I really am starting to like this look. I have been hardcore into matte blushes for quite some time, but I find that my tastes are changing and I really do like more cream products or more radiant products on my skin, and this blush is no exception. So I really am happy with this particular purchase. All right, and that brings us over to lipstick then. Now they did have 2 different options available. So again, I've gone to the website. The one that I picked up is just the Age Perfect Satin Lipstick. It has precious oils in it and says that it has a vibrant satin color, it's non-drying, comfortable wear, smooth and creamy texture. The other option is the Age Perfect Hydrating Core Lipstick. So it has like a little white dot that runs through the length of the tube. And that one says, it's a nourishing serum and provitamin B5 core for 9 hours hydration, reveals smoother, fuller lips with luminous color payoff. So I did not opt for that one, but I did pick up the other, and the shade that I picked up is Glowing Nude. So just obviously a nude shade. So just go ahead and apply that. This lipstick is incredibly creamy. Like it almost feels like a lip balm on my lips because it's just so, I don't want to say slippery in a negative sense, but it's just so hydrating, I guess. The longevity is not there. Like this wears off very quickly, but it is very easy to apply and it is incredibly comfortable to wear. So if you're not fussed about touching up on the go, this might be something that you're interested in. They did have, let's see, like 11 colors, something like that. 9 colors. So there's 9 colors available. Like I said, they also have an Age Perfect lip liner, which is supposed to be anti-feathering. I didn't pick that up simply because I have so many lip liners, but I wanted to try the lipstick. I really like it. I really like the shade of it. I think it's very comfortable to wear. Okay, so before we go and check back in with the foundation and concealer, I'm just going to take a step away from the Age Perfect line for a moment and just talk about another one of L'Oreal's new lip products, simply because I have one. This is the Infallible Matte Lip Crayon. It says that it is ultra pigmented matte color, lasting wear, convenient one swipe coverage. I picked up the shade 509 Flirty Toffee, and it's sort of a burnt orangey red kind of color. If it'll focus on the lip product, there we go. I will just put it on the back of my hand to show you. There's the color. I am not a fan of this product. I find it to be very drying. The pigmentation is there, the application's nice and easy because it's that slanted, sort of almost like a pencil, but it's not comfortable to wear. So regardless of the fact that it is long wearing, it's not comfortable to wear for a long period of time, so I don't. So this is one that I would just sort of avoid. Okay, going to look back at this situation going on my face and see where we're at. Now, I'm gonna bump it in a little bit. I don't know if you can see all the fine lines that are going on under the eyes, but they're there, trust me, they are there. If you're new to the channel, I'm 39, so I think I'm sort of in the demographic of what they're aiming for with these products. And above, I don't know, there's no age limit on it, anybody can wear it. You could be 14 and wear this stuff, it doesn't matter, but just all that to say I do have fine lines. Now when I pull them down, okay, I'm gonna have to do the horrific thing of bringing my face right in, aren't I? Okay, I'm gonna bring it, oh God, bring it right in. I'm gonna turn the lights down. You can see it right there. So if I stretch that little crease out, you can see where the product has sort of built up in there. This eye, not so bad, because frankly the creases aren't so bad. You can also see the level of coverage when I'm this close and with not all that many lights on. Around the nose is pretty good, like sometimes stuff collects in that little fold in there, but it's more so that area there that's a little problematic. All right, so I've blended it out. I'm now going to set it with some powder and see how she goes. Okay, so I've got powder on it now. I'm just gonna let it chill for another minute just to see what happens, and I'll check in. 1 second. All right, it has been about 3.5 minutes since I set it with powder. Not an extensive amount of time, I'm aware, but long enough that if things are going to creep back into those lines, they're going to do it. And they have not. So setting is definitely recommended. There's my 2 cents on it. Like I said, I have worn these products in the past, and I find the foundation to be incredibly nice. Like I find that it lasts very well throughout the day. It's not a big splotchy mess by the end. There is some movement of the foundation sort of in this area and around my mouth, but that is a recurring theme for basically any foundation that I try. It's what happens with them. So this one behaves no differently than the majority. So that's good. For anybody who is new and just wants the reference point, I do have normal skin. It does get a little bit drier in winter and sometimes I can have some flaking around my nose. I don't have any of that going on today, thankfully, but I don't suffer from oil. I don't have a lot of like dry patches or anything of that sort. And I've said this before, but it takes a lot to like super impress me with products. So the fact that I'm not jumping up and down and raving and saying how amazing this is doesn't mean that it's not a good product. It just simply means that it hasn't knocked my socks off, simply because very few things do when it comes to my skin. I don't have a lot of redness. I don't have a lot of like uneven tone or texture. So I don't really, my thresholds are pretty low. Which I hope doesn't devalue my review of products for you at any rate. And I mean, honestly, if ever there is a time where you would like different sorts of information, let me know down below, because I talk about the same things when I do reviews. I've just kind of got into a routine with them. But if I'm consistently missing something, a piece of information that you think would be very interesting, then let me know and I can include that when I do reviews, because I want to give you guys as much useful information as I can. So there you have it, guys. Those are the Age Perfect products that I picked up. If I had to rank them, I think what I would go is blush as number 1, foundation number 2, lipstick number 3, and concealer number 4. None of them are bad. It's just simply with the concealer, I would prefer more coverage. The fact that it like creeped up into the line, it normally wouldn't bother me, except that they market it as not doing that. And it does. Once you set it, it doesn't. What I found surprising is that they didn't sell a setting powder with this line. There is a powder foundation, but no actual setting powder. That would have been a good thing to include, in my opinion. Regardless, there are quite a few options to choose from, so I leave it to you. Check it out if you so choose. And with that, I am going to wrap this video up. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now. Hey guys, welcome back to my vlog. Oh my god, it's like I've never done this before. Why am I struggling so hard? I've got a hair itching, my nose, I've lost my train of thought.